Whew, it's been a minute, and the anxiety has been real the last couple of weeks, and I haven't quite felt like much of anything, to be quite frank with you, or also to be quite Bill with you, and quite Adrian with you, and quite Dee with you. But for real, it's been rough. For those of you who don't know, I have kind of chronic and ongoing anxiety, which is just so fun. It makes the world just a challenging, brighter, more special place. Anyway, so today I just wanted to kind of sit down with you and kind of catch up a little bit and just sort of chat and do something kind of simple because I'm really feeling my fuchsia eyeshadow today and I thought I should share. So anyway, I thought I would answer a couple of questions that have come to me from my Patreon and from my website and from my blog and from my email and that kind of thing. Just kind of some simple chit-chatty stuff. And we'll just kind of see what happens, as it were. So the first question today comes from Henley, that would be A.F. Henley, the author A.F. Henley, with whom I have written several collaborative pieces with, and who also has a whole slew of male romances, all to his credit. So today, Henley has asked me a question, and let's just dive right in, shall we? So Henley asks, what do you do when you're writing a book with someone and they just will not get off their lazy ass and write what they said they're going to write no matter what you do? Well, that's very simple, children. I just wait and wait patiently while the guilt starts to slowly consume the person who owes me chapters until they cannot sleep and they cannot eat, for they have a vision of me looming in a not fun way over them while they sleep, saying, "Where's the chapters, Henley?" Though now that I think of it, this is probably pretty confusing to the people who owe me chapters whose names aren't Henley. Okay, so the next question we have comes from Heather, who says, I'm going to ask this because I want to know, and so does everyone else. Apparently, I think she took a poll. So if you answered a poll from Heather, this is what you get. Anyway, she says, I'm going to ask this as I want to know, and so does everyone else. How do you manage your time? You do so much that I'm convinced you're actually a witch. No, really, there has to be more than one of you. Well, yeah, there is actually more than one of me. There's like 6 or 7. To be quite frank, I've lost track because the cloning process got a little tricky and confusing there at the end, and to be real with you, it's a little embarrassing, so I don't really like to talk about it that much. But if you see someone kind of running around that kind of looks like me, but is, say, talking about, I don't know, solely doing research or chores, or seems to be very, very fixated on small fuzzy creatures, if you could just sort of send them back my way, like help them log in to a nearby computer or something so I can kind of suck them back through the ether, that would be awesome. I really appreciate it. You're doing a public service. And for our next and last question of the day, Kagamimi asks, how many books are you publishing this year? Technically, I guess I'm not, well, okay, I might actually be publishing one myself. That's a good question. A few. So all said and done, I have The King of Nightmare, which is an ongoing one that's on my Patreon account. So technically it's kind of an ongoing publishing project, so because it updates once a month. Then I also have a bunch of reprints. Basically what happened is the publishing house that had the rights to my New Amsterdam novels, they went out of business. It was very, very sad. But all of the rights reverted back to me, but I wanted to find a new home for them. And I have been doing some amazing work with LT3 Press. They published Breaker and Vision Quest, and they've been the sole publisher for all of A.F. Henley's work. And we've done a lot of really good stuff together, and I really enjoyed my experiences there, so I wanted to move all of my New Amsterdam novels over there. So that's kind of what's been going on there. They're getting a new editing treatment, a new cover treatment. I'm getting to go through and kind of tweak and add and change a few things. Nothing major. It's more or less the same story. So it's the same characters that you know and love. I haven't done that thing that all authors and artists really want to do, which is to break very young projects into tiny pieces, rearrange them, and make them prettier, because we're all tempted. We are very, very tempted. But at the end of the day, they were what you were writing then, and that's okay. It's okay to have young novels. It's okay to have things that you want to improve or change or completely delete or perhaps eradicate entirely from the history of mankind. But whatever. And on top of that, I also have a book that I'm trying the self-publishing route on via Amazon, I do believe. And that one I've done a cover for, and I'm in the process of kind of reordering it. When it was previously published, there were some things that were taken out and rearranged and that kind of stuff, and I'd like to go back through and kind of do another sort of re-edit of that. So that's what I'm planning on doing. And as soon as I can get my act together, find some time, manifest some more time from the 8th dimension, I'm going to be putting that together and getting it ready and making sure I credit all of my wonderful patrons who are helping me make this possible. Demented D over on Patreon. Come and join the fray. The fray really likes company. Anyway, so shameless plugs aside, that's it kind of in the publishing world. I'm also working on a novel. I'm actually working on a couple of projects right now. 3, 4. There's a few. There's enough that I kind of get confused as to what I'm doing on any given day, and I also feel a little bit like I have multiple personalities because, I am 6 people and they're all working on a different book. God, for real, don't we wish that were true? So yeah, lots of publishing projects on the horizon, a whole lot of things happening. Thank you so much for the question, Kagamimi, and thank you and Heather and Henley for all being patrons. I really, really appreciate it and love you guys so much. And all of you out there who are supporting, watching, and doing all things to help feed the insanity that is this creative beast. The beast really appreciates it. The beast is hungry. Feed the beast. I don't really even know what I'm saying anymore. I think I actually am hungry, so I think I'm gonna go, actually literally feed myself. Yeah, and maybe get some sleep. Sleep would be great. Sleep and I have not been on the best of terms lately, so could use some sleep. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, day, afternoon, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.